All right, everybody, welcome to number 2 of the 6 weeks Leaders Rising series. And I want to thank you all for being on here. And I know that there are a lot of people who've already communicated that they'll be watching the recording. I think a lot of people are traveling for the event in San Antonio, which that's where we are right now, for New Year's kickoff. So I know a lot of people are planning to watch the recording, which is great. But thank you all for joining live, because we are so excited for the guest tonight. So in the first half, we're going to interview our guest. And in the second half, the amazing Lindsay Schwartz will be taking us through some amazing topics. So we have a really great call lined up for you, and we'll just kick it off because I want to make sure Caroline has as much time as possible. So Caroline, if you want to wave real quick so they know who I'm referring to. So Caroline is, I wish I had an hour just to introduce her to really capture who she is for me. This woman, before I get into like what she does, I want to share that she is such, how do I even describe it? There's almost no words. She is such an amazing person that stands for people's greatness. Like, she has come to me and just said, I've got your back no matter what. And she is there through the ups, through the downs. Her listening, she can hear what you're really trying to say. She's just so powerful. She knows when you just need a hug and when you need a pep talk, and then when you need a little light smack. She knows she knows what you need. And she's just a hero for many, many people. And then, just to give, share a little bit of her credibility, I think this woman has lived about 50 lives, and she's only 25. And she takes isogenesis. She looks amazing.
I do.
But what she has done in her lifetime, she's been a minister. She is a minister, but she's been a full-time minister in several different organizations in several different states. So she's really been a pioneer in people's spiritual journeys. Professionally, she has been in multiple careers, but her favorite that she really talks about is in workforce development. So she actually partners with a lot of organizations. She works with a lot of executives in influential organizations. Could everyone just mute their lines real quick? I'm just getting a little bit, okay, cool, I think we're good. And so she is currently working with a few different organizations in their workforce development, helping communities form jobs and really working together. So she is so good at working with leaders, with communities, and creating that synergy. And she's also currently a part of something called the Strategic Mindset Mastery Group, which is a collective of many thought leaders in the world. People like, just one example that I know many of you have heard of, Jack Canfield is part of this group. And so she leads workshops, seminars. She has a program that's called Free to Be at Last that she really has created with this group. She is a volunteer. She's a part of the A21 mission for people having freedom in the world. But then in the terms of network marketing, in the context of network marketing, she has over 45 years in network marketing. Can anyone beat 45 years? And
I can't even with age.
Yeah. She will share later on as well some of the impact that it's had on her family. And, I just love what she can be able to share, because she's been in so many different industries that she can really highlight like what's really remarkable about network marketing. But the best thing we're going to be talking about with her is about intention and manifesting. This woman can explain and create intention and manifesting better than anyone. So I know Erin wants to kick off with a question. Well, first, Cari, do you want to say hello?
Hi, everybody.
We're so happy.
Always great to be with you guys. I wouldn't be any place else other than a place that Jocelyn and Erin has asked me to be. So it's great to be here.
Well, yeah, and really just to get it flowing, get the juices flowing, really just wanted to kick off by saying, tell us why, first of all. Well, tell us what is intention and what is manifesting, and then we'll get into why would we have this on a Leaders Rising call? Why is this important for network marketing? Why do we really care about it? But let's just start off right there, Cari, just for those that maybe this is a new term or a new new really mindset or way to come from. What is this thing? What is intention and what is manifesting to you?
Well, you know how much I like to clarify things with definitions, right? And for everybody on the call, it's just been a practice of mine to work inside of really understanding the definition of a word, because whenever I'm stuck, it's because I find that I don't thoroughly understand something, like by definition. And I feel like today the English language is super corrupted. We've shortened things, we've taken things out. The other day, my daughter, she asked me, what did flaky mean? And I gave her what's considered to be an archaic definition of that word. And she said, oh, my friends make it mean like I don't show up like I said I would, right? And so it's just my practice to always work with, can you see it?
Yeah.
Big Webster's 1828 edition. And you can also download an app for it. You can access it online. So looking at the word intention, is that the first one, Aaron?
Yeah.
So just looking by definition, intention, if you were to look it up today, it would just say something like, what you aim for. Google certainly offers that definition, but Webster's 1828 defines it as primarily a bending or stretching of the mind towards an object, hence uncommon exertion of the intellectual faculties, fixedness of attention. And here's the one I like the most. It says intention is when the mind with great earnestness and of choice, that's so key, of choice, fixes its view on any idea, considers it on every side, and will not be called off by the ordinary solicitation of another idea, right? So, just to really bring that in, intention and how I practice intention, particularly in the area of business, is to declare that I intend that in 2017, my agency will be the number one, or is the number one financial agency in the state of Arizona, right? That's just an example. And it's going to be challenged by ideas like clients not showing up and all the things that we deal with as business owners, or not hitting particular dollar amount. But if we stay with the definition and we really bury that deep in our hearts and in our minds, right, intending that that's so, whatever idea or conflict of that we encounter, we won't give in to that. We'll stay with our intention. And ultimately, it's intention, practice in that manner, that brings about manifestation. What brings about manifestation, like one of my kids would say, doubly fast. What brings it about doubly fast, okay, is when you have agreement. And an agreement is another word that is unclear to us today. Sometimes we're like, okay, I'll go along with that. That's what agreement has been diminished to. But agreement, it is a unification of mind, okay, centered around a particular idea where the two now become one. So I look all the time at the successes that Jocelyn and Aaron have, for example. And one of the reasons why I subscribe to their leadership is because they embody that. They have agreement. You can see it in their union. And this is what causes manifestation of their visions and dreams. They put their intention there and they say, hey, we're going to be authors. And the next thing I know, I'm distributing the book myself. Here you go. Christmas, right? And that surprises people, right? But that's literally how it's done. That it's a statement first of intention, and then you've got agreement that it's so, and then manifestation works itself out in the world of reality.
Yeah, I want to hit on that because that's so powerful, because that was something that Cari really captured for me, was that I used to hold back so many of my ideas and what I was creating. Like, I'm going for a goal, but like, shh, don't tell anyone. And what I really learned from Cari and a few others was that it's by sharing it that it becomes so. That's how manifestation actually works, is that we all agree with each other. And, it's not like agree like, I think that's a good idea, but we truly say, I intend that with you.
Yeah.
I intend that shall be as well. And that's actually how I've been having conversations with people. Is I'll say, what are you intending? I hear it. And then I say, I intend that as well. I intend and I agree. Exactly what they said. So I'd like to dive into that more. So how could people apply this to their daily lives? How can they apply intention and manifesting to their lives when maybe they have multiple things? Maybe they have kids, maybe they have jobs, any circumstance. How can it really fit into life?
Well, it's great that you went there, because our lives today is just bombarded with a lot of noise, images that are coming at us constantly. Even since the last time I had this conversation or shared this conversation with you guys, I read something. I don't know, I'm constantly reading things. But it was, I won't try and recall the author because I really don't remember who it was. But in his writing, he was talking about even at night when we're attempting to sleep, the mind's eye is still open, right? And it's triggered by things like our phone flashing over in the corner or the phone charger, right? And the mind will pick up on these things and just every image associated with it is still running, dancing through our heads, right? So, we have to be intentional about shedding that out and making sure that we have in front of us the things that we want to manifest. So, for example, vision boards. Right now, this time of year, it's very, very popular. But in order to have the vision, you have to make sure that you write the vision out. You have to make sure that you have it in front of you and sharing it with other people. The interesting thing about all of the diverters to that is that without realizing it, they've replaced our ability to imagine, right? So I was looking at the word like television or telecommunications, and tele comes from a Latin word which means from afar, right? And so we've got television coming in to our viewing, and I don't care how it's delivered. It's coming over YouTube, streaming, cable, all of that. And the muscle that we have in the brain, okay, its ability to imagine and to create literally is just laying there. I was watching my grandson look at his favorite animated program, Paw Patrol. Oh my gosh, when Paw Patrol on, my grandson Noah is like, just don't even talk to me. And the interesting thing is, while he was watching, and I'll turn, his mouth was like this. And so my academic background is in psychology and behavioral science. And I knew immediately that what was happening to him is that he was in a sleep-like state. When a person is asleep, and we've all seen someone that'll fall asleep and their mouth falls open because the brain is not being used to tell those muscles to stay up, right? So you've got a person, they're watching television or they're on the internet or Facebooking, and you'll see the same pattern. Why? Because you're not there. So in order to be intentional, the very first thing that's required is a blueprint, right? And that blueprint is your imagination. And I'm telling you guys, You have to just close all of that noise out, all of those images out, and be with your vision. Write it down, what it is that you want to create in your business, what it is that you want to create in your relationships. If you want to attract someone, a particular dollar amount. One of the things that I remember doing was changing a bank statement, right? To show the dollar amount that I wanted in my checking account. Who does that, right? And, you know, I mean, we're all paperless now. I don't know, download the thing or whatever you have to do, but get that in front of you and have that dollar amount associated with the logo and begin to see that, right? Those are the type of images that you want to have in front of you, right? And then keep all of the images that contradict that away from you and just flood your mind. Write out your daily affirmations, and nothing is going to keep it more alive than that partner that you have and the person that's aligned and in agreement with you. You want to be sharing this daily.
Yeah, that's so good. I was really just thinking about that all together, right? And really bringing this intention, you know, really being a vision that you have. And the thing I was taking away, it's a vision that stretches the mind, right? So intention is not something that we are already coming from or something we've already done in the past or results we've already produced. It's a stretching of the mind. It's a vision statement. Like you said, actions would be to have your vision statement written down, keep it present, and then share it with people. The manifesting part, that's how this is going to become a reality. So I really wanted to bring that back to, so with your experience in network marketing, with creating a business, obviously people set goals, people have, you know, financial goals, they have freedom goals, they have their vision for what a business can really create for them. So share a little bit about what sort of difference does that make? Like, who do you share your vision with? Who do you share your intentions with around a business to really manifest the goals that someone might have within a network marketing business?
Well, okay, the first thing you want to make sure that you do is not share it with the naysayers, right? And so Lindsay's like, yes. You want to make sure that you don't. Why? Because you know, it's difficult enough in a busy world, a noisy world, to cultivate vision and then manifest it without having to go up against that as well. So you don't even want to use your energy for that. And what I've done, even with my husband, is just ask, can I share my dream with you? And then I instruct a little. I'm gonna share it with you like this, right? Like, I want you to dream my dream for me. And that's something I really get moved by, because that's big to ask someone to dream your dream for you. And Jocelyn touched on it a little while ago. We live in a world where people don't want to do that for another person. They don't want to share. You know, it's kind of hurtful to think that people live life so much for what they can obtain. But what I want everyone that's either watching this later or viewing it now or listening to it to realize is that that business that you're in, and it's such a great business, like Isogenics, I could just talk about that, right? It's such a great business, and it's a great company. And what you're doing is just not for you. It's not for you alone. And none of our dreams are. And so you want to invite people to share in the dream and in your vision in that manner, where you make a request. Will you dream my dream for me, right? And with me. And you'll know immediately, like there will be a connection, okay, that's deeper and bigger than what you could imagine the moment that person says yes, right? And it's going to contribute to them. It's going to cause them to dream as you begin to share. Why? Because we're all wired for television, right? So when you share and you share your images and your dreams with them, and you begin to see them spark up, and now it's like feeding both ways. you'll know that you have someone that's committed. If you're married or you have a significant other or a partner, I do hope that that is a person that you can dream your dream with and that can dream your dream for you. I've given examples before of what that looks like. Dr. King, his birthday is coming up, and when he was assassinated, his wife, I don't think anyone would have blamed her if she had taken her children and just hidden away and just sheltered them. They were very young at the time, but instead, 2 weeks later, she was leading the march in Georgia, right? And a lot of people have commented that she finished his work, but it was their work. They had that union and that between them. So that's what you want to develop in partnership. If it's not a spouse, a partner, or someone like that, you want to find someone in your life that's going to do that. When I manifested the relationship that I had with my husband, he didn't exist. And I just shared with two girlfriends, Louisa and Tamala, I'll never forget, what my dream was in a relationship. I said I wanted love, I wanted partnership and romance. And they dreamed my dream for me, right? To the point that it only took 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. And I met them and I got them, right? So it really can be that powerful and that swift in manifestation when you have someone that's that connected and that agrees to dream your dream for you.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
We're both like,
yeah. I just really, I got something that was really so great because you were talking about, having like your two friends that dream with you. And as we're here, like we're on this call with, 50 people. When we talk about speed, imagine like Cari produced her husband for romance and connection, and she shared that with two friends. Imagine is there a group of people anywhere that would share a vision together to really stand for each other, living their best life? I wonder if there's any place like that. Oh, wait, here we are. I'm so excited about the difference that when you have like 50 people that would be there for each other, how fast things could happen. So the question I have for you is on the other side of things, right? Like your friends dream the dream for you. For me sitting here, let's say I'm listening to Lindsay's dream. How do I dream that dream with her? Like for the rest of us, what is that like? How do we dream a dream for somebody?
First of all, you want to make sure that you can see it, and it may require you to ask some questions. Don't make assumptions in your partnership. Be really clear about it when you make that request or when you accept a request to do that. Whenever I'm inside of the Facebook page, Stronger Together, right? Like seriously, I get so pumped up, right? I'm not, my body is not young enough for the type of energy that comes into it when you guys post, right? Especially sometimes I'm in meetings, it's like, yeah, I better not jump up right now. Because you see the beginning of something that you guys have posted, and then I'm tracking. I'll come back and I'll see where you're showing your results, right? But now that's something where I'm just looking in and I'm looking at posts, right? So yeah, I take away from it, or I might add to a post that I see at the beginning of someone starting their program or their business, and I'm wishing you well. That is so different from saying, hey, Lindsay, tell me exactly what that looks like when your team is however many strong. Where are they sitting? What type of events do you have? You begin to really construct it, right? And what my girlfriends did for me, and we do have a 90-year pact, the three of us. We've made a commitment to dream each other's dreams for the next 90 years. We call ourselves P90S. So Power 90 Sisters, right? And what they did was they asked questions. They said, we want details. What do you guys do together, right? And I began to talk about how me and this man cooked together and how we had this perfect rhythm, that we were never awkward with each other. And then they asked me, they said, what does he look like? And I said, I don't know, I guess Aquaman, right? And if you've ever seen a picture of Aquaman, like he's this tall, blonde superhero, right? He's got this square jaw. And then if you saw my husband, like absolutely, like that's what he looks like, right? And so it's that kind of detail that will not have you give yourself to a counterfeit when it shows up. And that's so important. When they're dreaming the dream for you and you're dreaming the dream, right, it'll keep you on track. So if anything comes up, now this person is saying, nope, that's not what we talked about. That's not what we dreamed about. This isn't it, right? And certainly, you know, again, staying with the same example, when I met Michael and I told my girlfriends about it, first thing they said was, we need to see him, right? Because they knew they were dreaming the dream with me. So that's how you begin to create it and share it, but that's also the responsibility of the other person. Make sure that it's really clear, ask as many questions as needed.
There's so much. I want to underscore one thing and then move to our last question, unfortunately, because it's gone by so quickly. The thing I want to underscore for all of us as Stronger Together is the more people we share among each other, we can dream that. And that's how I want to listen to you each. I don't want to just hear it and be like, wow, that's really great. You're going for 3-star. I want to hear it and imagine it with you and agree with you. I manifest that. I intend that as well. And that's who we can all be for each other. Imagine 100 of us affirming and imagining each other's dreams, like the reality, like we read in A Happy Pocket Full of Money, right? The world we construct comes from what we're thinking and believing. So I'm just pumped for how we can really listen to each other's goals. And if you have an accountability buddy or a coach you're working for, ask them to listen to you that way. Ask them to dream the dream with you. That's going to really bring that manifesting rather than just some sort of conversation. But to go to the last question, like unfortunately the last 3 minutes, Caroline, is why do you believe in Isogenics? Why network marketing? Because you've had experience in so many industries. So I would just love for them to hear from you. Why network marketing and why specifically Isogenics?
So when I was, I think, 6 years old, my mother started working with Stanley Home Products. The company still exists today. And, when I was a child, mom stayed at home. That's what they did. I still don't know what they were doing, though. And so my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and she wanted what they used to call apron money that they hid literally in their aprons, right? And I would go with my mom, and she would do these home presentations, and it was mops and brooms and things like that. And my father just wasn't paying any attention. He was like, oh, that's so cute what you're doing. And then my mom had all of this money. I just remember my father was just shocked, like, where did this money come from? And she didn't know anything about paying taxes or anything, right? It was hilarious. And so much so that my father, by the time I was 17 years old, was in network marketing. And at that time, he was with a company called Shackley. And I don't even know if they're still in existence today. So of course, me and my siblings all had our own business really quick too. By the time I was started having children of my own, I was executive for Disney. I left Disney and went full time into network marketing. And that summer, I made $30,000. I started that June, and at the end of the month, and by September, I had earned $30,000. Did the same thing my mom did, threw us in a higher tax bracket, and didn't put the money up for the taxes because the kids had everything, right? And it's just something that I believe in because of this conversation that we're in. With a business like that, you have an opportunity to dream your own dream. You have an opportunity to dream for other people and to give them something and empower them. What manifests dreams faster than anything is when you're doing it for others. And so that's why I believe in network marketing. The whole structure of it calls for us who are involved in a business like this to get outside of our comfort zones and make a difference in the lives of others, either with the products or recruiting people, and what I call rescuing them from that place out there that is just going to steal their time, steal their lives, and then poorly compensate them for it, right? And so that's why I love this company. It's a pathway to freedom. And I think that a company like Isagenix and what they stand for, I've had an opportunity to meet some of their leaders there, is just their integrity and their commitment is outstanding. And I don't know of another company on the planet like it right now.
Well, thank you for affirming that, because I think that it's really valuable for people to hear from you, just since you have like learned and been a part of different companies. And I know that when you put your name behind something, you really believe in it.
Yeah.
And so, Caroline, I just want to really thank you on behalf of Stronger Together for really contributing this amazing conversation for us. Just that what you are offering to us is a conversation that I don't know that I ever would have been a part of before. Like, I'm just so grateful for the people that we get to be in touch with. Like, what kind of a Wednesday conversation is this, you know?
On Wednesday, Cleanse Day.
Yeah, I love that. Team Wednesday, Cleanse Day. So thank you so much, because it really is so valuable to be with you. Who loves Caroline? Raise your hand. Yeah. And you can always be in touch with her. She's in both Stronger Together groups, the business and the product. So feel free to reach out to her. She's an amazing resource for life. Literally, you could ask her any question and she can help. So Caroline, thank you. We love you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye. So now we get to go to the amazing Lindsay Schwartz, who will be creating amazing conversations. I'll let her introduce all of the topics. Thanks, babe.
Awesome. Was that not incredible? Is everyone else's mind just like, yes. I still remember the very first time I met Caroline, and will never forget just being in your presence and the power that I felt from you. So, just like so honored to be on this call, kind of co-leading with you. And it's perfect. It always is perfect. But as you're talking, I'm jotting down how all of this relates to the next two topics that we're going to cover, which are, number one, using that intention. If you want to attract a romantic partner, God bless, go do that for sure. And let's also apply this to attracting our high vibe, those next level business partners. So we're going to talk about that. How do you create a list with heart that feels good, where you're not just going out there trying to splatter Isagenix everywhere and see what sticks, but you are in the energy of choosing. Doesn't choosing feel better? Choosing is like such a powerful word. It has powerful energy to it. So how do we actually choose who we link arms with? We're going to totally dig into everything Cari shared. And then how do we create high vibe energy around prospecting? I don't even really love the word prospecting, but connecting with people, sharing the solutions that we have. And let me just get a show of hands. I'd love to see who has had a situation, a conversation where you felt the opposite of high vibe energy. Maybe you felt super nervous, or you said all the wrong things, or you just totally messed it up. Anyone? Yeah. Either in Isagenix or otherwise. And that doesn't feel great, does it? Give me some words. Either you can unmute yourself and say it, or type in the chat. Give me some words, how that feels when you're out of your highest vibration energy, your zone of genius, where you feel totally aligned. Weird, distressing. Yeah, love that. Stressful for sure. Awkward, terrible, murky, lost. Ooh, these are good. Yep, scary. Okay, so now let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. And let's let all of that go. I'm not saying we're never going to have those conversations again, but I'm committed that we walk away from this call walking a little taller and having more freedom. Isn't that a beautiful word too? Choice and freedom. More freedom around sharing this beautiful gift with people. Would that be a good thing? Awesome. Okay, so let's dive in. And now map what we talked about in terms of intention onto choosing who you are going to connect with, who you're going to partner with. So when we start our business, and actually this is something I still do, I still have a running list that I add to every single week, every single month. When you start your business, one of the first things you do is create a list. And often, we're creating a list based on just the first people that come to mind. An easy place to go is, well, who really needs Isagenix? Who could benefit from it? But once you start to tap into the mindset of choosing is creating a list that says, wait a minute, who in my life deserves Isagenix? Who deserves to know about this? Doesn't it feel different? Doesn't it feel better putting names on a list when you're like, it's as though you're making this list of people that you're going to go and give the most incredible gift in the world to. Think about like the best gift you've ever received. Who else loves, like my favorite thing around the holidays is giving gifts. I don't need to get gifts. I just love to give gifts. So think of it like you're making your holiday list of people that you're going to give the best gifts you're so excited to give. Think of the people who deserve to know about Isagenix rather than default to the people who need it. Not that, because we know everyone can use Isagenix. Everyone can benefit from it. So need is a lower vibration energy, right? This call is all about energy. Raising the vibration is choosing words like these people deserve and choosing, right? That sets a different intention than this person needs Isagenix, right? So what we focus on is always what we're going to get. Once you start to raise your vibration, raise your standard for who you are looking for, and even before you know those people and before they come into your life, tell me if you've ever done this. I know some of you have been around for a little while and have been to different Isagenix events. Have you, I would say in the last month, sat down and clarified the characteristics that you are looking for in your business partners? Who has done that in the last 30 days, revisited that list? Okay, cool. That is going to be preview of coming attractions, one of our homework assignments or practice assignments for the week, because I have had this experience on multiple occasions. When you get clear, it's like Caroline said, it's like placing your order with the universe, saying, okay, these are the type of people I would like to partner with. I want them to be people who are open-minded, people who are entrepreneurial, who are already successful in what they do. When you start to clarify what it is you are looking for and who deserves this, those people start to show up in your life. They've probably been around you already. Even if they're total strangers, you're probably interacting with them. Maybe in the grocery store, you're passing by them. The clearer you get, the more you use that intention muscle, the more you start to notice these people showing up in your life. So step number one of tonight is going back and looking at that list that I'm sure we all have of the people who are on our hearts, who we want to share Isagenix with, and starting to look at it from who deserves Isagenix. And if you're running out of names, which I'll get to that, I don't think we ever actually run out of names, start creating instead what are the characteristics of the people that you're looking for, and be open for new people to come into your world. So now let's talk a little bit about, briefly, who we want to look for. So if you haven't made this list yet, things that you want to, again, place your order with the universe for. People who have influence, right? They have communities. That's something that's on mine. I'm looking to connect with influencers. I'm looking to connect with people who know that they want more and know that they deserve more. More could be more financial freedom, time freedom, more health and vitality. More could be a lot of things, but they know they deserve more and they want more. They're hungry for it. Let's see. Something that I know when Elliot and I first started, we started with, just like most people do, the people that we know, our friends, the people who are closest to us. And I got this question. We were connecting as a small group this week, and we were having this great conversation about, well, how do you find people, right? Where do you meet these people? Especially if you look in your life and the people around you maybe aren't that influential or positive or open-minded. Maybe like Elliot and I, all of the people closest to you say no. You have to go out and meet people, right? You have to go out and make new friends. And I share this because I think a lot of times I even forget, because my circle has grown so much in the 7 years we've been with Isagenix. If I look at, so Elliot and I started Isagenix when the same year we got married. We started building our business in May. We got married in December. The people who stood up in our wedding, our closest friends in the universe, people who are still close friends to us today, for the most part, Elliot had 10 guys, I had 7 girls. Those people are not in Isagenix. Still aren't. They're very happy for us. They're supportive. They cheer us on from the sidelines. Most of them probably still have no idea really what we do, despite our many conversations with them. But it is okay if the people in your life right now aren't the people who are going to go on this ride with you. So start to think about, if you're in a situation like we were, where the people in your life love you, but they're like, that's great for you. Or if they're just a hell no, because sometimes that happens too. Where are you going to meet high vibe people, people with influence? I met both Caroline and Jocelyn. Jocelyn and Aaron now are in our team, Elliot and I, our biggest business builders, at a personal development event. I went to where other high vibe, motivated, entrepreneurial people go and hang out. So start to think about, where can you go to connect with other people who are like-minded? Could you try a new workout class? Could you go to meetup.com and choose from any one of the millions of different events that are available based on different interests? So with your groups, I'll have you do this, is brainstorm where are different places you could meet these. Once you get clear about who you're looking for, where are you going to meet them? Because it is not, in this business, it isn't who you know. Being an influencer is great, and having a big circle is great. But I didn't come into this business with a big circle, and I had to start from scratch and build a network. So if that's the case, which it is for a lot of people, it's who you're going to meet. And then the second part, which I'm just going to briefly touch on this, because we're going to have a whole juicy call on asking powerfully for referrals. But you will never, ever, ever, ever run out of people to connect with if you're asking for referrals. So, I want to call him Scuba Steve. Wait, what did you say? Aquaman? There's Caroline's, the manifestation of her romantic relationship. I wanted to call you Scuba Steve, but I knew that wasn't what you said. Aquaman, that's it. So when you are asking yourself, where do these high vibe people hang out, don't forget, you never know who your friends and family are connected to, or who a connection of theirs knows. So once you get clear about what you're looking for, you can go back to all of those people who said, you know what, this isn't for me, and say, hey, I know Isagenix wasn't for you. I just got really clear and, made created a picture of who I'm looking for. Do you mind if I just run this by you? I'm looking for, 3 to 5 people who fit these characteristics, right? So you can more powerfully ask for a referral if you are clear about what you're looking for, right? So we never, ever, ever run out of people to talk to. 7 years in, I still haven't run out of people. Lisa, have you run out of people to talk to? Yep, you're going to be in an airport full of them tomorrow. That's like hundreds of new friends. So now let's talk a little bit. I mean, we could go so much further into this if we have more time, but what I really want you to get is, again, it is not who you know, it is who you're going to meet. And it could be, I always think of like the 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. You don't know who you are only 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from. So start to think abundantly. That's the biggest key when you're when you're creating a list is think abundantly. You want to have such a big list that your brain will never say to you, well, okay, you're fresh out of people to talk to, because that really never happens in this business. So now let's switch gears and talk about what I think is probably the topic most on our minds in terms of what impacts our business on a day-to-day basis. And that is our energy behind connecting with people and following up, right? And we all like breathed out the icky energy that we've maybe unintentionally been carrying around about an interaction that didn't go the way that we wanted it to. And like I said, my goal is to leave you with, I'm going to give you two things. These are the two, like if I had a trade secret, this is it. Two things that will alter your connecting with people. You want to hear them? Are you excited? I'm just making sure you guys are still alive. Number one, and this isn't a new conversation. If you've done Healthy Mind and Body, you've heard this. If you've been at an event, you've heard this. The number one thing that shifts your connecting to high vibe conversations is certainty. Certainty does not need to convince people. Certainty isn't affected at all by someone who doesn't quite see the vision yet. Certainty attracts people who are resonating at your high vibe level. When we're not certain is when we tend to have those conversations where it rattles us. You know, Tony Robbins says in any interaction, if one person is more certain, the more certain person is always going to influence the other one. Now, influence doesn't mean that that person's just immediately going to sign up for Isagenix. It's not like you reach this point of certainty where you just walk up to someone and they go, here's my credit card, I would like a president's pack. No, but what does happen is that the interactions you have will always be so much more powerful. You leave the interaction feeling great. So does the other person, even if they choose no for right now to Isagenix. Wouldn't that be a good thing? Right? So what I think it all boils down to is, I know when I came into this, I actually came from a sales background. This is kind of hilarious because I hate sales. Anyone else hate the feeling of either being sold to or just cringe at the thought of selling something? Yeah, I'm seriously getting hot just thinking about it. I somehow made it 5 years in a sales position without my boss knowing how terrible I was at sales. And Jocelyn just said, yeah, only if people have a low vibe approach. And here's the key. I think we associate sales with what we're doing here, and we immediately connect that to an interaction we've had that wasn't high vibe. And I think that's where people take themselves out of the game completely. Because what we love is we love recommending things. We love being recommended things. We love buying things. At least I'll speak for myself. I love to buy things, right? But it's when certainty is missing and when it's a low vibe conversation where the second key, remember I said I'm going to give you my two biggest trade secrets. The second thing is missing, and this is what takes it from high vibe to low, and that is permission. I want you to think about that. Think about a sales scenario where you felt awkward, or oh my gosh, this is a perfect example. I was walking in the mall the other day. I walked about 10 feet and I had 3 little samples in my hand. Someone wanted to straighten my hair and put some crap on my face, and I forget what the other one was, right? It's do you ever feel that way walking down the corridor in the mall where you're oh my gosh, how do I get that? How do I get them to not talk to me? There's no permission. So what totally takes low vibe conversations to high vibe is when we honor that as people, we actually love to have a buying experience where we feel like we're in the driver's seat. And how you do that is by asking for permission. And this is the key phrase. If you're taking notes, this is the phrase to write down. Would you be open? instead of just, and hey, I've received them too, and I probably sent them in the beginning, sending someone a Facebook message. Oh my gosh, I love this cleanse. You got to try it. You're going to love it. It's going to be so amazing, blah, blah, blah. Lindsay can do 10 pull-ups. We actually, that's a funny story for another day. But instead of, hey, I've found something that has totally changed my life. Would you be open to checking it out? Would you be open to some information? And honoring if someone says no to that, right? What's so hard about that if you ask, hey, would you be open to taking a look? And the person says, no, it doesn't sound like it's a fit for me. Or what they usually do is just not respond. Totally okay too. But at least you know you're taking the high vibe route and inserting that one little piece, which is permission. So would you be open? And then fill in the blank, right? With making the second half of your request. Doesn't that change it? Just think about having a conversation leading with that versus when you're connecting and giving the information before they've even decided whether or not they want to receive it. Changes everything, doesn't it? Does anyone have, I know we have about 10 minutes here to wrap up. I have a couple more things I can sprinkle in here, but I want to hear, what are you getting from this? What's maybe not connecting yet? Do you have an example of an interaction you've had where the would you be open would have made all the difference? Let's hear from you a little bit. If one or two people would be so brave as to share.
I'll just share one thing, Linz, that people have asked me recently is how to specifically start different conversations. So different ways, whether that's Facebook, texting, calling. So just some different ways. Would that help? Would everyone like some examples of how to bring up the conversation?
Cool. Yep, I've got that in my notes. So if that's where you guys want to go with the rest of this, let's do it. So in terms of now that we have, the two key things, right? Certainty, always be building your belief and your certainty. It's not always going to be a 10 out of 10 every day, but continue building that and you will notice a shift. And the second thing is permission, right? So once you have those two things in place, those are the key, then we can always give you different prompts, different ideas for how to strike up conversation. The other thing is, and because I really want to use this disclaimer, give yourself the freedom to mess it up. Give yourself the freedom to try something. You don't have to sound like Jocelyn. You don't have to sound like me. Use what feels good for you. If one of these really jumps out at you, use it, absolutely. And give yourself the freedom to test out different methods. I've used 100 different conversation openers, some that went well, some that didn't go so well, right? But I think that I boil it down to 3 different, methods I could give you, or little scripts. The first one, and actually Aaron brought this up to me earlier as a suggestion for the call tonight, everyone practiced their belief statement last week. What a better way to open a conversation than to say, hey, can I share something with you? Again, asking for permission and then sharing that belief statement and then following it up with, does that, I've found a way to do that, again, modify it, whatever your belief statement is. I found a way to do this in my life. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in hearing more about? That's just one example, right? But leading with why you're doing this, not just leading with a shake or a cleanse. So using that belief statement is one idea. I think both Jocelyn and I have now grown to the point in our businesses where we prefer just to be more direct with people. Even in the past, I know a lot of even the training we received was around, being very not in a way to deceive people at all, but maybe not being as straightforward, taking conversations offline, inviting people to get on the phone, where now I'll just say to people, yeah, hey, this Start Strong, it's, it involves isogenics. Have you ever heard of it? I just go right to what I'm passionate about. And I think that's the times are changing where authenticity is what people are craving now. And not that, again, I don't splash Isagenix all over my page, but I think you'll even notice, those of you who are coming to New Year Kickoff, there's a shift even in the whole company. I mean, our tagline for this year is "We are Isagenix," and that's something we're really proud of. So being able, free yourself up to experiment with just being really open with people. Again, just coming from a place of, hey, I've found something that has profoundly impacted my health. Would you be open to hearing about it, right? Would you be open? And then when the person says, well, yeah, what have you been up to? I've been using Isagenix. Have you ever heard of it? Right? So allowing yourself to be more direct and proud of what it is that you're a part of, right? So that's the second way, just being more direct. And then something that I used in the beginning, this felt more comfortable for me for where I was at. And again, you will grow. And as you grow, you'll have more confidence, you'll have more certainty, and the way you bring up conversations will change with it. But in the beginning, I was more comfortable, especially with some of those scary people on my list, asking for more of a referral method. Hey, I've started something that I'm really passionate about, and I'm looking for some referrals for some people I could really help. Would you be open to checking out some info and letting me know who you might know that I could help? So something like that, where you're indirectly asking. Now, is it great if the person themselves says, well, yeah, hey, I'd be open to hearing about it, right? Share your 30-second Isagenix story. I know Kevin Barnum, one of the Isagenix millionaires, loves to, he'll share his Isagenix story. Hey, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know that this is his story, right? Dropped 20 pounds in, X number of time and feel phenomenal. Do you know anyone who's looking for those results? And a lot of times people will be like, excuse me, hello, right here. So if there's people on your list that you feel a little, and again, I'm committed that there won't be anyone on your list you don't feel totally freed up to say, no, this person deserves to know about Isagenix. And to share my favorite one, as sort of like to tie this all together. When I started to realize I wasn't coming from a place of these people that I love deserve to know about this. Gosh, there was like this girlfriend of mine who's like totally into fitness. I realized like I hadn't really boldly shared with her. I literally called her up one day and I said, I realized I have been totally stingy with you. And that's actually what I said to her. And that was really the truth. I made up some reason why she wouldn't be interested in Isagenix and didn't share with her. And I said, I know you and your husband have big financial goals. They're both in medical school, have big bills to pay off. I said, this has profoundly impacted our financial life. I wanted to give you the opportunity to hear about it. Again, so I came from, and this is truly how I felt. I said, I've been stingy with you because I know your goals and I haven't shared something that I know could make a difference. Now, here's the important thing to know. I felt great in that conversation. She felt great delivering a no. She said, no, I don't feel like it's a fit for me. And guess what? We're still friends and there's no awkwardness. In fact, I even had the freedom to bring it up to her again. So I initially brought it up because I knew she and her husband had financial goals they wanted to reach. Then I found out she was having some serious digestive issues. And again, because my only goal is I am here to serve people. I knew of something that could potentially support her in her digestive, just feeling better. And so I said, hey, I know Isagenix wasn't a fit for you before. I saw that, your post about you were feeling kind of bloated and blah, blah, blah. I think it might really help if you're open to, taking if now is a better time, right, to take a look. And again, she said no. And there was no weirdness about it because I came, number one, from a place of service. And I asked for permission before going into, here's the ingredients that would help and this product would help. So what it all boils down to, if you take anything away from tonight, always, always check yourself. Are you coming from a place of service? I know all of your beautiful hearts, all the people on this call, you all have hearts of gold. So when you're coming from a place of service and you are asking for permission before connecting or before giving the information, right? You can connect and ask for that permission. You can never mess it up. You really can't. And there are so many people on this planet who are looking for what we have. So many who haven't even heard about it yet. So with that, 7:59, gosh, I feel like we could totally go so much deeper into this, but I want to share your 3 action steps for this week to practice with your small group. Number 1, from Caroline's portion, I thought, how powerful would it be if you guys feel called to do that? Share with your small group what your dream is. Practice, at least during this 6-week period where we're connecting with smaller groups, those of us who are, practice sharing what that dream is that you have for your business or for your life, and dream with each other, dream for each other. I love that, P90S. I'm totally stealing that. That's so powerful. The second thing, so that's number 1. Second thing, if you haven't already done so, even if you have, go back and revisit your list of traits. Go back and revisit your order form for the universe for 2017. Who are you intending to connect with this year? And then the third thing, okay, there's 2 more. Just kidding. They're easy though. So the next one is, think of one new place that you can go to meet new people, that you can go to connect with like-minded, high-vibe people. Even just practice asking yourself, tune in, ask yourself in a meditation, where can I go? Where do I feel called to go? Where do high vibration people hang out? And schedule yourself to go and do something new, meet new people, a new workout class, whatever that is, within the next 2 weeks. That's my challenge to you. And I'll type these in the Facebook group when we share it. And then with your small group, I want you to practice delivering, verbatim. Obviously, sometimes you're using this in written communication, but practice saying to each other, would you be open? Practice a couple different scenarios. Maybe practice sharing your belief statement and then taking it to, would you be open? Practice a couple different scenarios just to get it out there, right? Practice using that, and then have your team members give you feedback on, how did that feel? Did it still feel like a little funky? Like I kind of felt like you were nervous, or, be really open and honest with each other, because your group is a safe place to practice these skills and to share. So Jocelyn, thank you so much for typing those in the chat. We will make sure to also include those in the Facebook group so you guys have them and can implement them with your groups. Myra, did you have a question?
No, I kind of missed number 1. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. The first one was to share your dream with your group and to dream with each other.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, perfect. All right, guys, if there are no questions, we will see you, most of you, in San Diego and San Antonio, wrong end of the country. And back here next week, just a reminder too, we have another Facebook Live guest event, opportunity event. This one is going to be like on fire hot, because there's nothing Elliot Schwartz and I love talking about more than why we love network marketing. So this is going to be perfect to invite people who are even product users to start to learn why everyone deserves to have a residual income stream and why Isogenics is a great one. So that is the 19th, Thursday the 19th, 6 p.m. Pacific. Cool? All right. We love you guys. Have a great night. See you all soon.
Love you. Thanks.